fans, thanks for let me push this around that way there. Thanks for clicking on the Dreaded D. Rose Report today. From Wrestling Observer Newsletter says, simply noted, Gregory Helms was found with a single soma pill in his bag when he was arrested with Chris Jericho. If Helms didn't have a prescription for the drug, likely, like he claims anyway, and even though police aren't charging him for it, WWE may be forced to suspend him for about 60 days. It's going to be a second wellness violation. WWE's current policy says every prescription a wrestler has is supposed to be filed ahead of time with Dr. David Black. All prescriptions are supposed to be written by the company doctor, and any violation against him for his name coming up on the signature pharmacy scandal in 2007, and has never failed a drug test, by the way. But Helms, has had the previous violation due to that scandal in 07. But that's been it. Apparently they stay with you forever. They just don't drop off. There's been a lot of talk backstage regarding Helms' future with WWE after the incident, based on the success of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, which he was pulled from, by the way. Helms missed out on a payoff from the show that would have been around $5,000. It said that Helms was apologetic to WWE officials about for the incident, but that don't work too often. Believe it or not, Eric Bischoff is trying to recruit Jim Ross to be an announcer in TNA. Just like rumors from before, you shouldn't read too much into this about Ross going to TNA, but he's trying to get him. Rob, you would be nice to concentrate on the wrestlers there and the storylines. Badly. When Rob Terry won the TNA Global title on January 27th at the TNA live event in Wales, he was not told about the title change until the day of the show. Terry played the role of a local babyface, as noted before, and his family were all in attendance with the TNA camera and film crew. They filmed everything. Part of the idea with the new Ric Flair and AJ Styles storyline, by the way, is make AJ a guy who stands out in the crowd, which is why TNA is looking to ask him to bleach his hair blonde. The idea angle is that AJ is a great inside the ring, and Flair is supposed to teach him how to be a world champion outside the ring, which he didn't have too much personality. He was all right, but Royal Rumble pay-per-view in Atlanta, Phillips Arena drew an advanced sellout crowd of about 16,697 fans and about 13,500 paying for the gate of around $800,000. In other words, they give out some to you for radio stations and giveaways and things. Several WWE superstars were brought in for the Royal Rumble on Sunday, but didn't know until the day of the show whether or not they were going to be in the Rumble match. And given the empty spots and any last-minute changes, were surprised at them. Chris Jericho was saying about his black eye. If you've seen the Royal Rumble, man, he sported a nice little shiner. Anyway, he was talking about his black eye came from the accidental shot in his match with R-Truth at the SmackDown tapings in Cincinnati. It was believed that that the black eye actually came from the taxi incident with Gregory Helms. Sources confirmed that WWE and USA Network are seriously considering about having Raw on for 3 hours each Monday night if TNA goes to Monday. WWE officials did not like the idea last year when USA was pushing for it, but now they're kind of considering it, I guess. If you remember Ed Leslie, Brutus Beefcake, he was backstage at TNA tapings on January 20th. Leslie's a longtime friend, of course, if you've seen the show, Hogan Knows Best. He was there all the time with Sags. It's reported for the reason TNA used the six-sided ring on a recent UK show was because they already had it shipped before, already had it bagged up and ready to ship, I guess. Technically, that's not correct. Said the company uses a six-sided ring in storage in the UK since they toured the company. So instead of shipping it all the time back and forth, they just leave it there. Hulk Hogan's been complaining to friends about frustrations from working in TNA because he feels pressure to give pushes to people he doesn't want to give push to. Word is that Dixie Carter doesn't want TNA originals to be buried, but the wrestlers from the old crew that Hogan sees nothing in and wants to get rid of him. Hogan is apparently high on Tomko and made a remark about how at least Tomko looks like a wrestler. It's expected, and I think there's going to be some bad blood happening there soon with Dixie and Hogan. Because Hogan, it's still Dixie's show. It's expected that WWE will be releasing several more wrestlers between now and WrestleMania. Nikki Bella wrote on her Twitter account this week that Sister Brie Bella is dating Richie Kotzen, the former guitarist for rock band Poison and Mr. Big. Wonder if they ever switch off. That guy doesn't know the difference. Anyway, the NFL's Atlanta Falcons will be co-promoting WWE WrestleMania 27 with WWE. Part of the role in the promotion is going to be selling corporate sponsorships, similar to the deal with the Arizona Cardinals for this year's WrestleMania in Phoenix. There's a joke running around backstage at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in Atlanta among WWE talent to avoid all taxis. The rib was the incident with Helms and Jericho. Because the taxi driver called 911. No tip for that guy. Trish Stratus is going to be starring as Jules Taylor in a new independent Canadian action movie entitled Bail Enforcer. The movie is going to be about a team of down on their luck bounty hunters who run into trouble when they're confiscated with a moral dilemma, which kind of odd to hear that word anymore. A local mob boss wants the team to exchange a bail jumper for millions of dollars. As mentioned a few weeks back, Awesome Kong asked for her release from TNA backstage after the altercation with Bubba the Love Sponge. Word going around is that the company denied her request to be released. Kong was talked into working the TV taping the night after her fight with Bubba, but told TNA officials she would not be going to the UK tour after they wouldn't grant her release. So she's going to do something to just get herself fired. The issue between her and Bubba apparently resolved after the meeting, but Hogan and Eric Bischoff helped kind of smooth it out. Apparently still ain't too smooth. There's still a heat between Kong and TNA over money also. Kong is said to be especially touchy when she sees companies spending money on new talent while claiming they can't afford to give her raises due to the other knockouts. And other knockouts. Not due to them, but due to the other people getting brought in. There is an assumption that within TNA that Christy Hemme, Tara are all paid well because of their careers in WWE, but frustration among the pay that the other TNA knockouts receive are a little bit less, and they're a little bit on the upset side. TNA Lockdown 2010 pay-per-view is going to be held at St. Charles, Missouri, outside of St. Louis in the Family Arena, April 18th. Please make a note of it. While Scott Hall's Sean Waltman has been removed from the opening Impact video on TNA's roster page too, it's noted that both are still affiliated with TNA and the website simply playing off the storyline from Impact. And by the way, Kurt Angle's name came up in the federal trial of 9 men associated with the implied pharmacy in Mobile, Alabama that is going on this week. So we'll have to see if he's going to get implicated very much in it. Closing arguments said each one of them, the defendants, participated in this conspiracy and operated a steroid mill that they would dispense antibiotic steroids to anyone who's got a credit card that was good. For W Online, I'm running out of time. Dolph Ziggler will be heading to Istanbul, Turkey, to soon do some promotional work for WWE. WWE Women's Champion Jazz was added to the alumni roster page. This week's episode of ECW with McMahon's announcement did a 1.1, which was 1.4 million viewers. Now, I guess that's about all for today. Hey, thanks for clicking in, and I'll be talking to you later. Oh, I gotta go.